I've got a video on a practice pad from Brash Drums. This video has been requested by a few people, so I'm glad to finally be able to get this out to all of you. It's been a few months in the coming. Brash Drums, for those of you that are not familiar, is out of Durham, North Carolina. They are owned by a former member of Colts and Cadets, marched there in the early 2000s. Scott has an engineering and product design background and wanted to eventually take that and apply it to musical design of somehow, and in this case, practice pads. Right now they have one product, this one right here. He has talked about, I've seen some other products, perhaps a tenor pad, perhaps larger size pads. This is the product they have right now. This practice pad is $149, free shipping. Comes in a couple different colors, which I'll show you in a little bit. Now, the astute practice pad people of the world will recognize that this has a striking resemblance to the design language from Zymox. And yes, it does. However, I will say the feel and the customer service especially are much different. And I'll get into the differences of these in a little bit, but it is definitely a similar design. Construction of it, it has a hardwood base with a fiber core playing surface and then a laminate on the top here. The laminate, they either have some stock designs that you can take, or if you want to upload your own custom laminate, like say this fine Blue Coats design that Scott provided me, you can add that, and that increases the delivery time from usually shipping in a couple days to maybe 2 to 3 weeks. Most people that I've seen that have these pads say they got them in about 2 weeks. So again, not like the Zymox over there where you may not ever get it. So good customer service, good delivery time, base, fiber core, laminate on the top. The rim is aluminum and I believe it's powder coated, and it's been fairly kind to sticks over my experience. It's not a die cast rim like say the rudimental drummer pad that I have, where it's not going to be as kind to your sticks. It's not a plastic rim that's going to be a little more kind to your sticks, but overall I feel like this rim is a little bit softer, kind of in the middle ground of rim and hardness and chewing up your sticks as far as that goes. There are the lugs here that hold the rim in place. The lugs do not do anything to tighten the playing surface because it's all independent. As you can see, the rim is all the way down flat against that base. So they're just there to hold that rim in place. So you don't need to try and tighten those down any farther. They're not going to do anything for the playing surface. On the bottom, there is a rubberized grippy surface on the bottom, and then they include a shaker snare puck here, which has some BBs in it. And there are rare earth magnets here, which hold that in place like that. And easy on, easy off. Again, unlike the Zymox, you have to take this cover off with a drum key, put the padding on top of there, or just take the ball bearings out if you want to get rid of the Zymox snares. On this one, you just in and out with the magnets as such. Now you can go to their website and you can pick different colors of the base, and you can pick different colors of the rims, and then obviously you can pick different playing surfaces, either the stock ones or upload your own image. That base, which looks like it's a painted wood, I will say over time I've had this in a stand, and there's a little bit of wear on the base from the rubber feet of the stand gripping it. Not a huge deal in the end, but it can wear a little bit. I don't fully mind it. You know, if you're taking this pad around, if you're taking it to school, it kind of shows your practice gun a little bit. I don't mind some wear on the pad, but there may be some scratching, some wearing off of some of the paint depending on how you're treating the pad. The sizes of the playing surfaces of the two pads are similar. They're both claimed to be a 10-inch. The Zymox is actually 9 7/8. The Brash Drums is actually 10 1/8. So just a little bit larger playing surface. I would like to see a 14-inch version of this, and he's talked about that being a possibility in the future, just so you can get the muscle memory of going to the rim and back. Overall, it is a 12-inch diameter with a roughly 10-inch playing surface. Now, speaking of the playing surface, let me discuss a few things with this a little bit. He designed this pad to be an average drum feel. I feel like most of my audience are probably marching percussion enthusiasts, and you want that high tension snare rebound. However, not everyone that's getting a practice pad plays snare. Some people play tenor, some people play bass drum. And then also some people use practice pads for orchestral work or things that are not marching percussion. And so he designed this pad to be more of an average drum feel. So it's not going to have that super crisp, high tension marching snare feel. And because of that, the feel on it is a little bit softer. It's a little bit less dense playing surface. It doesn't have as much rebound. And also because of that, and because of the design of the surface, depending on what you're playing with it, you actually are going to get some indentations on the surface. So if you're playing on it with some heavy marching sticks, and you're playing some loud passages like a marching percussion might, you're probably going to get more indentations. However, if you're playing on it with some 2B concert sticks and you're doing some little buzz patches, I can't play and talk at the same time, you're probably not maybe going to get any indentation. So again, it really just depends on what kind of sticks you're playing with. Incidentally, these are my very first pair of drumsticks from 7th grade, many, many years ago. Came with my Ludwig concert snare. So again, just something to be aware of, depending on what you're playing with this and how hard and how forcefully you're playing, it is going to show some wear, both with some indentations on the head, and then like I mentioned, just throwing it around, there's gonna be a little bit of maybe scraping of some of that paint on the bass. Of note, this pad with the snare mechanism out, because of this chamber here, has a much more louder, more resonant design. So just a pre here. Take this out. So much more resonant, and I feel like it even feels a little bit more rebound with that snare mechanism out for some reason. Maybe I'm just sensing that, but I feel like it is having a little bit more rebound with that out. Also, the snare mechanism, the shaker puck, it's just, you know, metal with some BBs in it. I feel it doesn't give a very strong snare sound. It's there, but personally, I actually prefer this pad without the snare sound. I know that's kind of the cool thing to have a snare sound on your pads these days, but I actually like this pad better without the snare sound. So let's have a look at this pad both on a tabletop and on a stand, and compared to the Zymox for those of you that have inquiring minds and are curious for the difference. Just to show you, I'm putting this in here solid. Solid how it's supposed to be in there. I'm not sure what to make that. And again, I'm putting that in there flat and solid like it's supposed to be, but it seems when I do shots, you know, regular playing, but it's the shots that get it. So a little frustrating there. It's easy to take on and off, but it seems to fall off. That said, I like this pad better without the snare mechanism anyway. So there you go, Brash Drums, practice pad, overall thoughts on it. I like that you can customize the bass. I like that you can customize the rim choices, The rim is going to be softer on your sticks compared to some other pads. I like either the custom laminates they have, or you can provide your own. The playing surface has a little bit of a softer feel, and this can be a plus or minus depending on who you are and what kind of drum you're playing and what you're practicing for. Again, march and percussion is going to be a little bit softer, but orchestral or tenor or something like that, it's probably going to be closer to what you are using. So again, designed as more of an average drum. The grippy stuff on the bottom keeps it from moving it around too much. I did have the problem where the snare mechanism kept falling out when I had it on a stand and was doing shots. So yeah, that's an issue. But again, I honestly prefer it without the snare shaker in it anyway. But I did have repeated issues with this falling out, so something to note there. But overall, it's a nice pad, $150, free shipping, much better customer service than that other company over there. So check these out, the Brash Drums practice pad.